A new study is out detailing Syracuse University's impact on the local community and economy.
And the third mayoral debate is tonight. We'll be live with a full preview.
And CitrusTV reporter Conor Wight has details on the reappointment of a new campus committee.
This is CitrusTV News live at 6, your campus news leader.
A new survey shows that Syracuse University is integral to the economy of Central New York. Good evening, I'm Mike Riccardi.
I'm Gilat Melamed. The report considered two studies to look at the university's impact on the region and local community.
According to a new report, Syracuse University has a $1.1 billion annual impact on the Central New York region. Two third-party studies determined that impact based on the spending of employees, students, tourism, and jobs the university directly generates.
The studies analyze community engagement and investment, as well as local and regional economics. SU is the largest private employer in the region. WNBA star and Central New York native Breanna Stewart revealed that she was sexually abused as a child. Stewart wrote an article in the Players Tribune detailing that it happened over the course of 2 years, starting when she was 9 years old. Stewart only says that the man was a construction worker who lived at a relative's house. She says she waited so long to tell people because she didn't want it to define her. Stewart won 4 NCAA championships with UConn and was the 2016 WNBA Rookie of the Year. The third mayoral debate is taking place on SUNY-ESF's campus tonight at 7. Zachary Levine is live from the debate to preview the action.
Here at SUNY-ESF, we're getting ready for the third Syracuse mayoral debate, where the 4 candidates will face off perhaps one final time before the November 7th election. Right behind me is the entrance, and earlier I got a chance to talk to local Syracuse anchor Matt Mulcahy about what it takes to put on this event.
The crowd is invited to be here. The public is invited to be here, which is nice that they have a chance to watch in person if they like. But since it's only an hour long, for us to get into a town hall discussion where we're taking questions from the audience would have required a whole different setup. So, especially with 4 candidates, we want to give them the time more so than just one person asking a question from the audience. We have engaged the public to send us their ideas. They've emailed, they've Facebooked us. They said, could you ask about this? Could you ask about that?
And we'll see if there's more fireworks tonight between Juanita Perez-Williams and Ben Walsh, of course, the Democratic and Independent candidates. Stay tuned tomorrow live at 6, where I'll have a full recap of the event. Reporting from SUNY-ESF, Zachary Levine, CitrusTV.
A man is recovering this morning following a stabbing at a party on Sumner Avenue. Police responded to a large fight at the party at 3:30 this morning. When police arrived, they learned a man had been taken to the hospital with stab wounds in the neck. The victim is expected to survive, and police do not have information on a possible suspect. Syracuse University launched the Orange Survey today. This survey is for undergraduates and aims to better understand aspects of the student experience. Students can share their experience on and off campus. Those who complete the survey will be able to win prizes. And in February, Syracuse University established the ADHOC Committee on Deferred Action for Childhood Arrivals and Undocumented Students. The committee was tasked with promoting diversity and inclusiveness on campus by assisting all members of the student body, including those that may be undocumented. The ad hoc committee is now reappointed as uncertainty around federal action on DACA persists. CitrusTV reporter Conor Wight spoke to a member of the committee to find out what actions they are taking.
In June, the Ad Hoc Committee on DACA and Undocumented Students submitted their report to Chancellor Kent Syverud, prompting the Chancellor to instruct campus offices to take certain actions to assist students. Efforts included career and legal advice, some of which can be reached online through SU's diversity webpage.
People they could contact, different resources, career, different things like that. But we will be expanding that to include other resources.
Now, the committee is continuing its efforts as DACA legislation remains uncertain.
I think maybe there was some thought that the DACA would have been a cleared up issue by this point on the national level, and it's not. So thus, there's the need for us to remain active and effective in supporting our students.
The committee will be looking to expand on its efforts to help members of the student body.
So now our focus is going to shift into expanding those resources, better, more expanded website, and looking at best practices around at different schools and in here to really maximize the effect we can have on supporting these students.
Though it is unclear how federal legislation could shape responses, the committee is continuing with its goal with making all students feel included on campus. Reporting for Citrus TV, I'm Conor Wight.
Good news for us college students, Uber Eats is coming to Syracuse. Uber Eats is a food delivery app that's goal is to make getting delicious food as easy as getting a ride. Syracuse is the second city in upstate New York to start using Uber Eats, and starting today, you can download the app and order food from Syracuse restaurants including Subway, Appetizing, and Modern Malt. Yesterday, the Carrier Dome hosted the New York State Field Band Championship. 52 marching bands from across the state came to compete. Over the course of the day, 10,000 people showed up to watch the bands perform. Local high school Cicero North Syracuse won big this year, winning first place in one of the large school categories.
Well, Gilat, today's high winds were not only really bad for my hair, but they brought some pretty cold temperatures.
Yeah, the wind chill just made the temperatures feel a lot cooler than they actually were. And Citrus TV weather reporter Jack Watson is here in studio to tell us how the temperatures are going to look heading into tonight.
Yeah, guys, that cool fall weather really starting to set in on campus. Got up to 52 degrees today, but it did not feel like that throughout most of the day in the mid and high 40s. But it does set the tone for a chilly week to come. Tonight's forecast, a low of just 39 degrees with a 40% chance of rain and a windy night at that, 20-mile-an-hour winds. Our Tuesday forecast here, we can see 48 degrees, a comparable day to today, a chilly throughout and only a 20% chance of rain. I'll let you know just how this week is going to look on my full forecast when Citrus TV News Live at 6 returns, guys.
Coming up, Paul Manafort turned himself into Justice Department counsel Robert Mueller. We'll have Talking Points contributor Dan Prager here to break down the story.
And 2 Navy SEALs are under investigation. What the reason is when we come back.
Hey, look, it's those guys.
Get some drinks!
Are you good to drive?
I'm fine.
How many did you have?
I should be fine.
You should be.
Go and step out of the vehicle for me.
See ya, buddy. Good luck. So turns out, buzz driving and drunk driving, they're the same thing, and it costs around $10,000. So not worth it.
They told me a bottle couldn't dream. That I would never become a superhero. But I learned how to fly. Just to come back in a new disguise. And be the hero that I've always wanted to be.
Hey, Hard, what's this?
That's my resignation letter.
You're resigning.
Why? Because you're constantly ignoring me. You're half as active as you used to be, and you get stuff like this. You've been putting me under a lot of pressure lately. That's why I'm ready to quit.
I forgot. I'll do better.
Please, don't quit on me. Okay, but remember, it's not what you say, it's what you do.
Listen to your heart. Don't let it quit on you.
Let's go for a walk.
Uncontrolled high blood pressure could lead to a stroke, heart attack, or death. Get yours to a healthy range before it's too late.
You're watching Citrus TV News with Mike Riccardi, Gilat Melamed, and Jess Torricello with weather. Citrus TV News continues now.
Former Trump campaign chairman Paul Manafort and former Trump campaign official Rick Gates have turned themselves in. They surrendered themselves to special counsel Robert Mueller of the Justice Department early this morning. Manafort and Gates will be processed separately and will be transported to a federal district court. Joining us now with the latest news is Talking Points contributor Dan Prager. Dan, thanks so much for joining us.
Thanks for having me, Mike.
So ever since this committee was formed, we've been waiting to see what charges may come. Now that they've been filed, what does this mean for the Trump administration?
Well, if I'm a member of the Trump administration right now that was involved in the campaign, I'm getting kind of nervous. The big news wasn't really Gates or Manafort. We knew that was coming. It was George Papadopoulos, who was a minor advisor in the Trump the original Trump campaign. He was caught for lying to the FBI about meetings with Russia. So now if I'm a member of that campaign who's testified, I'm thinking they're going to go back, they're going to look at every single thing I said, and if they catch me in a lie, if they catch me in something that I said that's false, they're going to be all over me, and that's the worrying thing.
Like you said, they're going to now go back and look at other people. Do you think we're going to see more charges come out of this?
Most likely. You can't say for certain, but we'll probably see something else. Mueller originally said this is the first of many charges that are going to come out. A lot of people are saying that Manafort was the easy target, I guess. So you're going to look at people like Michael Flynn, Jared Kushner, who might be called up later in the campaign, even more minor advisors like Carter Page say. So this will not be the end of Mueller's investigation.
Thanks, Dan.
All right, thanks, Dan Prager. 2 Navy SEALs are under criminal investigation for the suspected strangling of an Army Green Beret earlier this year. Staff Sergeant Logan Melgar was found dead from asphyxiation on June 4th when serving in Mali. Superiors of Sergeant Melgar say they suspected foul play immediately after his death and sent investigators to the scene that day. The 2 SEALs currently under investigation are members of SEAL Team 6, the team credited with killing Osama bin Laden.
The CEO of Puerto Rico's Power Authority is ending their controversial contract with Whitefish Energy per recommendation of the governor. Puerto Rico Electric Power Authority, PREPA for short, awarded Whitefish a $300 million contract to help restore the power after Hurricane Maria destroyed the power grid. PREPA CEO says the cancellation is not final and does not admit to any illegal activity on PREPA's part. Whitefish Energy had only 2 full-time employees when Hurricane Maria hit and is financially backed by a major donor of President Trump's campaign.
The United Nations will be deciding today whether to back a plan combating human trafficking and terrorism. The plan includes a 5-nation joint security force across the Sahel and parts of Libya. The Joint Army will have over 5,000 soldiers and aims to target people smuggling across the region. The force is facing a lack in funding and doubts from the national community, but it's backed by Italy and France. President Trump is refusing to let the UN fund the force in cash, and the majority of current funds are coming from the EU.
The streets of Catalonia remained peaceful this morning despite recent calls for civil disobedience. Catalonia's pro-independence groups called for widespread civil disobedience in the public sector today, but work resumed as normal. This follows Catalonia, an autonomous region of Spain, holding an illegal independence referendum earlier this month. Spain responded to the crisis by putting the region in control of their prime minister and called a snap election set for late December.
President of Kazakhstan has ordered his country's official alphabet to be changed. He wants it to be changed from Cyrillic to Latin. This is symbolic for the nation as it shows that Kazakhstan, a former Soviet state, is distancing itself from Russia. This is the 3rd time that the country has changed its alphabet this century. Now it's up for debate whether or not the country's spelling will start with a Cyrillic K or a Latin Q.
A strong storm with heavy rain and damaging winds hit the Northeast this weekend, leaving more than 1 million people without power. The storm also caused downed trees and flash flooding in many spots, including areas remembering the 5-year anniversary of Superstorm Sandy. The storm is expected to continue through New York today.
From the CitrusTV Weather Center, this is SU's most accurate weather forecast.
And Mike and Gilat, the tropical storm Philippe, which is what the weather experts are calling it, has left 1.2 million people without power. The states most impacted by the storm are Maine and Massachusetts, with Central Park in New York City reporting nearly 3 inches of rain and dozens of flights across the Northeast canceled. This is what we can expect tonight for central New York. Some developments moving east that will impact us at 8 and 9 o'clock, but other than that, a pretty dry night, preparing for a dry tomorrow. Yesterday's flood totals, large portions of central New York received 3 inches of rain. An all-day rain event yesterday with 4 inches in some areas, and now some Oswego roads are still flooded and a state of emergency being called in the town of Sandy Creek. Our current temperatures in and around central New York right now: Syracuse 49 degrees, out here by Lake Ontario, Rochester 46, Penyon 48, Ithaca 48 as well, down in Elmira 50 degrees. Right now on the Hill, a high of 49 degrees, a cool and breezy day for the most part, with some periods of sunshine and a chance for some showers soon. Our Tuesday day planner here when you're waking up for classes at 9 a.m., 42 degrees, 45 by noon, and it stays 45 by 6 p.m. Similar conditions to today, 40 degrees all throughout, so some jackets and some hats will be necessary. Our 5-day forecast here, a pretty gloomy 5-day here. Thursday, rain, 90% chance. Friday, similar with a 58-degree high that day. A high of 49 degrees on Saturday and 50% chance of rain as well.
Jack, and it was so cloudy today, and looking at that 5-day forecast just looks like really cloudy for the rest of the week. When can we expect to see the sun again?
We could experience some patches of sunshine tomorrow, but the best chance that we have will be Wednesday for some sunshine.
Now, Jack, we appreciate you filling in for Jess. I know you wanted me to do a Larry David impression, so here it goes. The winds today were pretty cold. When can we expect to bring out the winter coats?
Very soon, I would say. The lows have been in the high 30s, especially at nighttime. And with this rain that's coming up tonight, you're going to want to put on your winter jackets if you get cold easily.
All right, thanks Jack. Coming up, a new survey has determined which industries are hiring the most college graduates. Find out what some of those jobs are next.
And Kevin Spacey is issuing an apology over sexual allegations. What he's apologizing for next.
Adventure can be found anywhere, but the best place to start is in the forest.
I spy something beginning with S.
Snow?
No.
Snow-covered trees.
Nothing to do with snow.
Head outside to discover incredible animals and beautiful plants that come together to create an unforgettable adventure.
Wow.
So grab your loved ones.
Don't even.
And explore a world of possibilities.
Come on, this way.
Visit discovertheforest.org to find the closest forest or park to you.
Fancy pants peanut butter? A big screen television? You haven't even bought a sofa yet. A motorcycle? When your father finds out, he's gonna flip his shoes with 2 buckles? What do you even need 2 buckles for? Mr. Big Shot, buying whiskey shots for everybody in the bar. From the looks of it, I'd say nobody even remembers. Feed the pig.
If you see news happening on campus, in Syracuse, or across the nation, call the CitrusTV newsroom, 315-443-1177, or tweet @CitrusTV News, your campus news leader.
Consumer spending jumped its highest in more than 8 years this past September, jumping 1% in the last month. This is likely due to households in Texas and Florida replacing flood-damaged cars. Spending on automobiles rose over 3% in the last month. Consumer spending accounts for more than 2/3 of the U.S. economic activity. Listen up, Syracuse seniors, a Michigan State recruiting trend survey has determined which industries are hiring the most college grads in 2018. More than 3,000 employers seeking college grads were asked about their hiring expectations. Engineering services, management consulting, supply chain logistics, and scientific research appear to be the jobs that are booming. An industry on the decline is manufacturing, which expects to hire 3% fewer workers next year.
France is facing a croissant crisis. No one can get their hands on butter. France, the world's largest consumers of butter per capita, is facing a price war amongst retailers over the country's food staple. French supermarkets are refusing to pay for butter as prices tripled in the past year. France's Food Retailers Federation says the shortage is temporary, though the issue has been discussed in French Parliament. And the ease of smartphone cameras has left digital cameras not feeling the love, leaving Nikon with plans to close a factory in China. The global market for compact digital cameras has shrunk to 1/10 of what it used to be in the last decade. China holds 30% of the market for Nikon, and they will continue to sell cameras there, but some production will be outsourced. The closure affects about 2,300 workers and will cost about $62 million in costs for the closure. And Kevin Spacey is issuing an apology over claims of sexual advances towards a child actor. That actor, Anthony Rapp, says he was 14 years old at the time that 26-year-old Kevin Spacey made unwanted advances toward him after a party. Rapp said he was able to get away to a bathroom and leave after Spacey tried to seduce him. Spacey tweeted a statement saying, quote, "I honestly do not remember the encounter, but if I did behave then as he describes, I owe him the sincerest apology."
Coming up in sports, SU field hockey closed out its regular season at JS Coyne Stadium. Orange volleyball had a chance to take down a pair of conference rivals, and we saw possibly the greatest game in baseball history last night. Stick around to find out how many records this World Series broke. News Live at 6 will be right back.
Well, Thomas, you've got pre-diabetes, but with more exercise and a change in diet, it can be reversed.
I've tried exercising. It just makes me hungry for bacon.
I love bacon, too. And who really likes to exercise?
Not me.
Me neither.
Nobody. So we're good?
What? Oh, you still have pre-diabetes. Big time.
Here's your check. Oh, you got it.
You know, since I got rid of my car, I really enjoy walking.
Okay. God, no.
Getting pulled over for buzz driving could cost you around $10,000 in fines, legal fees, and increased insurance rates.
Oh, you're home early. You live with your mom?
That'll set your game back a few years. Buzzed, busted, and broke. Because buzz driving is drunk driving.
Every time I hear the alarm bell go off in school, I think it's an air raid.
A lot of houses in our neighborhood have been destroyed.
I like to close my ears and sing songs whenever the bombs come close. I'm worried our new neighbors won't like us.
But I know it's all gonna be worth it.
I just want my family to be safe.
But these are not my words.
These are not my words. These are not my words.
Looking for these? You drive buzzed. It could be one very expensive ride.
First, you gotta make bail. Then pay me to get your car back.
Your insurance premiums will go through the roof.
And my legal fees just keep adding up. All told, it could end up costing you $10,000.
Buzzed, busted, and broke. Because buzz driving is drunk driving.
And now, your CitrusTV Sports Report.
Syracuse football stunned the college football world this season with a win over then number 2 Clemson. Then Dino Babers' squad took down nearly took down Miami on the road. It looks like things are changing here on the Hill, and Babers remembers what triggered it.
You know, I really thought it started last year when we lost that Pittsburgh game, and the way we lost it. That was a very emotional time for the team and I. And I spoke to the 2017 team, and that's still in that pit locker room. And I think that's where it all started. I think that's where we planted the seed and put some fertilizer down, and then coming back in spring ball and the things we did in the summer, we needed to water it and put a lot of sun on it. And this is where we're at.
Syracuse looks to move to 5-4 this weekend on the road against Florida State. The Seminoles are just 2-5, but a win in Tallahassee would bring the Orange one step closer to a bowl game. And field hockey had senior day this past weekend. Senior All-American Elise Lockerway returned to the lineup. Could she and SU bring back the winning ways for her last regular season game? It was Pacific versus the Orange on Saturday at JS Coyne Stadium. And we'll get right to Pacific. It was a 3-0 game for the Orange. Annalita Albrecht had a corner. It was senior day at JS Coyne Stadium. 19 minutes in, Annalita Albrecht rifles one, but it is deflected by Kiara Gucci. The freshman scores her second goal of the season to put SU on top early on, 1-0. 30 minutes later, Rose wears a corner for herself. She needs no help. Rifles it into the back of the cage. That's her 8th goal of the season. The All-American just continues to keep rolling. The ties now change. Pacific with an opportunity for themselves, and it will be a goal. No. Video replay shows a foul before the shot. Sorry, Pacific, no score for you. It remains 2-0 SU, and now this is just icing on the cake. Audrey Matthew, the freshman, puts it in the back of the cage. Her first goal of the season. And that would be it from JS Coyne Stadium. 3-0, your final. The freshman coming up big on senior day. And staying on the hill, Syracuse volleyball took down Virginia and Virginia Tech this past weekend in straight sets. Anastasia Gorelina led the way in both matches. The junior combined for 27 kills and 14 digs to take down the ACC rivals. The Cuse hit the road next weekend and the weekend after before finishing off the season with 4 straight home matches. And in the NFL, New York football is bad. Everyone knows the rules. Well, apparently not, because the Bills, they just keep winning. Buffalo took down the Raiders yesterday 34-14. The defense forced 4 turnovers, and LaShawn McCoy ran for 151 yards. But for the Jets, it was a different story. Matt Ryan returned to MVP form with 250 yards and 2 touchdowns to lead the Falcons over Gang Green. In basketball, the Knicks return to the Garden tonight for a matchup against the Nuggets. After starting out the season 0-3, the Knickerbockers have won back-to-back contests, including a 19-point shellacking of the Cavs last night. Tim Hardaway Jr. and Kristaps Porzingis combined for 66 points in Cleveland. We'll see if they can keep it up tonight against a 500 Denver squad that has also won 2 in a row. And on the ice, 2 of hockey's hottest teams are going at it tonight. The Islanders squared off against the Golden Knights. New York has won 4 of its last 5, and Vegas has just 1 loss this season. John Tavares will look to keep his scorching streak going tonight. The Islanders captain was just named the NHL First Star of the Week after posting 2 hat-tricks. Hopefully, the ice doesn't melt in this one. And we're hitting every sport today. In baseball, we witnessed arguably the greatest game in history. 25 runs, 7 home runs, and over 5 hours long. I wish it was still going. But finally, the Astros took down the Dodgers on a 10th inning Alex Bregman walk-off. Coming into last night's contest, only 5 teams in World Series history had 8 extra base hits. Both sides did that last night and more. The team set the record for most home runs in a single World Series games. Now the record for most home runs in a Fall Classic Series, and it's only been 5 games.
Now, Matt, Yuli Gurriel, controversially not suspended from the World Series. How important was he to the Astros last night in that win?
He was absolutely crucial. He had a 3-run home run that put them over the top. And again, that's going back into the MLB's discretion. They chose to suspend him at the beginning of next season instead of suspending him now during the World Series. And a lot of people don't agree with the decision, but he did come up big for Houston last night.
All right, Matt Lieberman, thank you.
Thanks, Matt. We'll be right back.
Come on, it's not that hard.
My big man fingers are having a problem with these little tiny buttons.
Whoa, watch it there. Your blood pressure's gonna go through the roof.
Tell me about it. I'm trying to learn how to get it down. Instead, it keeps going up.
High blood pressure can increase the risk for heart attack or stroke. Learn how to keep yours at a healthy range.
Ever hear a voice command? Just say text barbershop to 97779.
That's not what I said.
Just give me that. Now my blood pressure's up.
They said I have troll teeth.
That my voice sounded like a possessed baby doll.
That no one would ever love someone as stupid as me.
That I was fat, ugly.
Disgusting.
The effect of bullying is potent.
We will no longer be the silent majority.
Now, when you see online bullying, there's something you can do about it.
We're gonna take action with the I.
I am a witness. I am a witness.
I am a witness.
I am a witness.
I am a witness, and so are you.
You've messed up your son's haircut.
Mom?
Do you A, try to fix it?
Like it never happened.
B, work with what you've got? Or C, show solidarity?
Thank you, babe.
As a parent, there are no perfect answers. But you don't have to be perfect to be a perfect parent. Thousands of teens in foster care will love you just the same.
And Jack, what should I wear to class tomorrow?
Gilat, we're looking at low 40s tomorrow morning, 42 degrees by 9 a.m., so you're going to want to wear some winter clothes. I would say a winter jacket, long pants, hat, and gloves, especially if you're out there waiting for the bus on South Campus like I am.
Thanks, Jack.
Thanks, Jack. That's all for Citrus TV News Live at 6. Head over to our website at citrustv.com for these stories and more. I'm Gilat Melamed.
And I'm Mike Riccardi. Stick around for Talking Points at 7:30 for a breakdown of all the latest political news. Have a great night.